Hello, my name is Shaheen, and I sometimes brush my teeth twice because I forgot to brush that I brushed the first time.
Hello, and I am the cat that your mom hit last Friday night, Erica.
And speaking of nights, Erica, what time is it right now?
It's exactly 4 a.m.
Nobody's winning in these long distance podcast situations. I woke up twice.
Except the listeners themselves. They win.
Yeah, you guys win. But I was telling Erica that every time I wake up, I poop. So I woke up twice, and I pooped twice when I didn't even eat anything. My body's in pain.
And you know what? I just didn't even sleep. Like, the last time I went to bed, I don't know, because it's just been that long.
It just feels like a very drawn out situation. So the first episode was already out, and we had surprisingly
And second.
yeah, and the second just got out, but well, last week now. I hate this part of the podcast, but the first episode
Future.
was future past situations. But the first episode was fairly well received, and I know it's just our friends being nice, but it means a lot. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Even
It warms my heart.
it really does. Like, I don't know. I was I was kind of happy. It was weird, but anyway.
Only kind of.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, what's happening? But thanks for the support, and hopefully you'll keep listening to the bullshit we throw out.
Yeah. Can I also do a shout out?
Yeah.
Good job, JSA, for winning Undokai. It wasn't even a real competition. We wiped everyone's ass across the floor with pre-workout.
I stayed up just to be a part of it here in Kuwait.
Yes, it was very, very magical. I mean, not really, because we all knew we won. Like, during tug of war, we were like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, when you get first place in every single event, you start to suspect. I think we're in the lead.
Yeah, no, I really hope that you guys keep the ball running next year and the year after.
I mean,
and just,
I won't be there for that. Who knows?
I mean, I'm already not there for that, but still, it's really nice seeing people, step up their game. And I know a lot of the freshmen were really happy that they won. And in case for those that don't know what Undokai is, it's a big sports festival that happens in SoCal, where all the JSAs, well, not all, mostly all, almost all of them in Southern California would meet up in one beach and then kill each other.
Yes.
It's basically the Hunger Games.
Sorry. I just remember in the first event, which was the obstacle course, we finished. We finished, right? And the best part was not us winning first place, but Naif running out and yelling so excited. Like, he was so happy, and then he fell over. He fell. And instead of getting up like a normal person, it was so good. I'm sorry, I'm sleep deprived, but Naif falling over, and rather than getting up, just dragging himself along the sand really got to me. Man, nothing we talk about is indicating what the topic is.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, considering this is coming out next week, which is okay. The topic is going to be about Avengers because we're sellouts and it's coming out.
Yes.
By the time this episode is out, I think there's a midnight release, right? Thursday night next week. Yeah.
Yeah. This would probably be out the day they do the midnight.
Yeah. So here's some spoilers. But no, we don't.
Some spoilers. Ant-Man goes up Thanos' ass.
The true ending, the one true ending.
That's Endgame right there.
That is the end game. I hate that he acknowledged it. There's a YouTube video of him being interviewed.
Glad he does.
Yeah, and he talks he even uses the name of the theory, the Thanos theory.
Paul Rudd's the best.
Yeah, I love Paul Rudd. He even like people question like how come it's up the ass, not like in his ear or his mouth. I'm like, no, that's the correct orifice. You have to go up the ass. It's the most effective one.
It is.
It's like that
It's
one
the
pill
most
that you stuff
dignified
up your
way.
ass. Huh?
It's the most dignified way.
Yeah, like if someone wipes out half of humanity, the only way you can pay him back is right there, right then and there.
Exactly.
So yeah, initially we had another topic in line for this, but let's just say we're selling out instead of the real reason. And yeah, we'll okay. So first, I'll talk on my end about what I like, because the thing is, I'm not a Marvel Comics fan per se. Like, I never even held a comic book before.
I don't know how to read.
Yeah, I'm illiterate, but I've never read the comics. The only information I get from comics is usually those YouTube videos that sometimes you're like, what is this about Steve Rogers having a third nipple? You know, like whatever, like you want to, in some alternate universe, there's something weird happening, and you're like, I guess I'll give it a listen. I know they get ridiculous sometimes, the comics, when they're establishing the multiverse thing. Like, isn't there like a universe where Deadpool kills everyone or something?
I don't know if this is a spoiler, because it's not a spoiler to like
Captain America dies.
But just no, not that. It was apparently like Captain America was a sleeping agent, and like this happened like years ago, and then like it was one of the comics, and then it was just Captain America saying "Hell Hydra," and it just fucked up everyone. They're like, "What the fuck?"
I think I saw that before. I don't remember. Yeah.
Like, it was a pretty big deal, because everyone's like, "Wait, what? That makes no sense." But whatever.
I mean, anything can happen. That's something I learned from comics. Is they if there's a scenario, it'll happen.
Oh, Thanos.
Thanos has to happen. But yeah, what'd you say?
Oh, I'm on the same boat. Like, I don't read the comics either. Like, it's just, there's too many. It's very intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I wanted to get into comics in general, like American comics, I mean, like Marvel, DC, or whatever other series. And then I found out that there's, like, the canon can be, I don't know how to explain, like, when I look up where to start, it's like, anywhere you can start. But at the same time, there's always, like, a preferred timeline that you can go through. And even then, I'm like, I don't know if I get invested in the stories as much, because like this is a personal thing. I know there's a lot of people that love the idea of having alternate storytellings with the same characters, and I can see the appeal definitely. But for me, like, I know there's one that was released like a few years ago, Wolverine finally dying or something, and it's a big deal. But I'm like, yeah, just give it a month and there's another comic with him still alive. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know. Maybe, like, I'm sure it's still impactful. Obviously, if it reached me, someone who doesn't even delve into the comic world, that means it must have been a pretty huge story. But I don't know. The MCU suffices for me.
I mean, just watching the movies is enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a single canon storyline and easy to follow. And I don't have to commit to it. Also, I'm a guy that likes to purchase the books that he reads, and holy shit, comics are expensive.
Ooh, yeah.
And you know what else I realized I didn't like too much about comics or Western comics?
Yeah.
Is the colors. I thought that if it was colored, I'd like it more, but I'm telling you, manga did something right by having the black and white with shadings. That works much easier on the eyes, because I have V.
I agree.
What?
I agree.
Yeah, because I have V for Vendetta, and I read it, and throughout the entire time I was reading it, I was getting like epilepsy with each page.
I'm same. I mean, with manga, it's just like one of those things I got so used to that reading colored things is very, well, at least was off-putting. But now that I read webtoons, kind of got used to it.
I think webtoons. I don't read webtoons, but I mean, I've seen some, but like webtoons uses a different color palette than comics. 'Cause comics use like really intense dark colors. I don't know. Like I've seen webtoons and they're pretty easy on the eyes, but these are like ooh, like they punch my eyes. I'm like, okay, shit.
They want to make sure you're reading.
You're like, are you reading this? Like shit. My brother is colorblind, so he probably could enjoy comics. But
Man, he'd
But,
probably be like, I can't see anything on this page. It's the equivalent to not being able to read.
it's like, is this a manga? No. But yeah, I think I watched every MCU movie except the Incredible Hulk from like way back when.
I have not seen a lot. I actually haven't seen any of the Iron Men.
The Iron Man.
Haven't seen the Iron Man's men, like
Man
the three
is-
movies. I haven't
The
seen
Iron
the first two
Gentleman.
Thor movie.
Uh,
Me lady.
Milady. I've seen I've seen all of them. Never, because I'd either watch them in theaters or because I travel a lot when I was in college back and forth to Kuwait. It would be 15 hours, 18 hours of flight. And here's another Marvel movie. I watched Ant-Man and Wasp on the plane.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I watched what did I watch? Can't remember. Pretty sure I watched another Marvel movie on the plane for the first time. But
Damn, I did that too.
yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do on a plane, right? Hijack it.
2
Ha ha ha.
Oh, that's racist. I'm calling the cops. I'm calling TSA.
TSA hates me, but okay. Not
Get
to
a
get
phone
to
or what?
here's the issue with TSA. Okay, a lot of people think that like we joke
This is
about
not a
them.
political podcast.
It is. It really is not. But whenever I travel, in the beginning they used to be more straightforward about how like, oh, you've been randomly selected. I'm like, really randomly? Okay. And then later on they started being friendly. They're like, oh, can we actually just get your biometrics? I'm like, this feels like some special treatment that I didn't ask for. And then I don't mind being because I don't care. Like when TSA stops me and they like frisk me and they grab me in places I didn't ask for, I don't mind. Okay, because it gets lonely sometimes and you need that kind of affection. But the issue is one time we went on a cruise, and on my way out, I went with 11 of my friends. We were 12 in total. And on my way out, they stopped me. Like I was in the middle of my friends, and they stopped me, and they said, "You've been randomly selected." And I'm like, I get it. I get it when it's on planes. Okay, we have a bad rep with planes. I am not from Somalia. I am not a fucking pirate. There's no reason why I am selected in TSA's cruise ships. There's no reason for me to be stopped here. But
It's
yeah,
kind of racist.
it really is. Like, it pissed me off. I was so angry. I was like, come on. Like, now you're just pushing it. I didn't do any of this shit.
Damn.
But yeah, this isn't about TSA.
Yeah, I forgot. Avengers?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, TSA stands for the Sadistic Avengers. I don't. But God, that would be a very different movie. But
Oh, would it though? Would it
Yeah.
be that different?
I mean, yeah. But yeah, the Avengers or the in general the MCU is pretty good. There's some not so good movies. Like I know, like to be honest, the first Iron Man is not bad. The third one I enjoyed, but I know everyone hated because of the bait and switch with the villain. Like people expected the Mandarin to be as he was in the comics, which is the super badass wizard, whatever guy. But then it was just it was dumb but funny. So I didn't care because I'm not
no
invested.
opinion.
But Iron Man 2 was absolute shit. I could not remember anything. I just remember Mickey Rourke. Like, that's all I remember.
I can't remember anything from Iron Man 2 because I have not seen it.
You're not losing it. I was also surprised because when they switched out Terrence Howard with what's his name? I can't remember his name. The new War Machine. I'm like, wait, I'm not crazy, but this wasn't the same actor. Like, wait.
I'm not racist.
I'm not racist. I'm just saying the first one was kind of light skinned, and you know. Also, Terrence Howard looks, I don't know, looks younger, I think, than, I forgot what his name is. But anyway, what's your take on Avengers coming up?
Oh, I'm very excited. Like I want to watch it when it comes out. Like not the midnight release because I want to sleep.
Yeah.
Ha. But
like Friday.
Friday. Yeah. I'd be happy to watch
did
it.
you get tickets already or no?
I didn't.
Even in Kuwait,
Well,
like I asked my friend, like, "Hey, are you watching Avengers?" And then he said him and his friends already booked tickets. I'm like, holy shit, I'm really late to the party.
Yeah, I don't know, because we're planning to go. Dude, I'd look like a clown if this doesn't happen. Like JSA wants to go, like relatively as a group, but I'm not sure really.
The only time JSA has successfully taken over a release date, like the same day the movie got released, was Deadpool, the first Deadpool, because it came out on Valentine's Day, because that's how they advertised it. It was a romance love story. And we had a few people that wanted to watch it, and we're like, okay, this is a new movie. It's Ryan Reynolds. It's Deadpool. It's all the ingredients for a jam-packed theater. So we sent people like 4 hours in advance, and then we had Kenny. I don't know if you remember Kenny. He's super tall, and he just fucking lays down on like 6 chairs. And then Gabby, I don't know how many layers of clothing she was wearing, but she left an article of clothing on every chair for 2 rows to just protect them. I was like, okay. I didn't expect that 2 people would be enough to reserve the whole goddamn, but yeah, we all got the seats. It was great.
We had a pretty big turnout for when we watched Boku no Hero. Like that was pretty big. Also, when we watched Dragon Ball.
Oh man, it was pretty jam-packed
that's
here. Dragon Ball.
Pretty big. Dragon Ball was a good time. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the. No, that sounds nerdy, but I am getting the Blu-ray DVD.
What a fucking nerd.
Yeah, I have to. There's like 40 minutes of not unseen foot. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna have.
What is it? Are we gonna finally understand how they fucking went from the Antarctica to a 4D dimension? Where, like, I blinked and they were somewhere else, and I'm like, I know I didn't miss that much of the movie. Like, what's happening?
No, I think it fills up more of the first portion of the movie, the Saiyan past.
Ah, shit.
I mean, I enjoyed that part though. The fight was something else.
I enjoyed the whole movie.
Yeah.
But like, I was losing the concept of reality. I don't know what happened. Like, why is there Antarctica? What? Something happened.
I mean,
but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely wild. Like, it was. The entire theater was sweating, and we were just sitting there watching the movie, and you could just feel the heat resonate because we were so into the fight. Everyone turned to a 3-year-old again. But enough of Dragon Ball. I mean, as much as I love talking about Dragon Ball, but enough of Dragon Ball. I mean, I'm gonna reference them again because here's the thing. If you haven't seen, Avengers: Infinity War. If you haven't seen it yet, you're just not into Avengers, I guess, and we can spoil it if you haven't seen it. But the end of Infinity War, where everyone gets like dusted by Thanos. Yeah, anyway, so Avengers: Infinity War, everyone gets dusted, and then I know you speak about it. Speak how you felt about Infinity War.
Well, the first time I watched, okay, the unfortunate thing for me was it wasn't that it was necessarily spoiled for me, but a lot of things that it was like pictures of Infinity War with no context. So, for example, one of them was a picture a picture of like 100 Narutos, and then there was just a lot of things that I kind of picked up on what was gonna happen based off of that stuff. So it was kind of spoiled for me, but like I'm not the one who cares for that. When we first watched it, I was just like, damn, that's kind of rough. But then I went home and watched Spider-Man, like the one with
Homecoming?
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that. And then I rewatched Infinity Wars with my brother. And I bawled. I started crying for Peter. Like I felt it. I was like, I just lost a son today. I gotta call in from work. So like the first time I wasn't that emotional, but like after watching Spider-Man, I was just like, oh man, this fucked me up. Like I didn't think this would hurt.
Yeah, I think everyone is going to say that Spider-Man is probably the most painful one, just because I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good. And like, listen, all right, Robert Downey Jr., because I can't remember his name, Tony Stark, actually.
Yeah.
It was like a father figure to him. Like if anyone has seen,
because he's
Spider-Man
banging Aunt May. Like what?
Yeah. You see that dynamic between Peter and Tony Stark. So when you go watch Infinity War, you're just like, dude, man, that's rough. That fucking hurts. And then you remember that Peter Parker has spidey senses. So his spidey senses were tingling. And so he knew what was happening to him. He knew he was gonna disappear. And that fucks me up so bad. And Tony Stark just had to hold him in his arms. I'm like, no one can see it, but I'm kind of crying right now. Like, that shit hurted.
Because I think we watched it like a little bit later than the release date. And yeah, there were many memes popping up. Like people did not abide by the law of give it a week after it's released before making memes. Because there's the one from Ed and Eddie where they have Rolf like staring out of the window, slowly turning it to dust, and he says, "Ed boy, I'm not feeling like the son of a shepherd."
Oh man, I'm just oof.
It was a good time. It was a good meme too. Like there was some really solid.
That
ones.
was good. I was good.
See, unfortunately, I could not get emotional. Okay, because as an avid Dragon Ball fan, you get used to death being a two-way street. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm pretty emotional when it comes to films, so like, it should come to no surprise that I cried.
Yeah, but like I thought, definitely they're bringing back all of it, and Marvel kind of fucked up a little bit because they already advertised Spider-Man's second movie.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you saw the Black Panther. What's his name? He's like the
Chat.
Yeah, the cool. They said the coolest, blackest dude with the whitest name.
I fucking love it. He's just like, "Are you excited for this movie?
I'm dead.
Is there anything you want to share?" I can't. I mean, I'm glad everyone's excited, but like, I'm dead. And it's like, what about Black Panther 2? I'm dead.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. You should anyone who hasn't seen it, look it up. It's pretty funny. He's really committed to the role.
He's good.
And then you have Spider-Man fucking saying, "Yeah, I'm coming back." Like, stop ruining it for everyone.
Yeah. Because like I think they were. Like the trailer said that like, oh, you're on your own now, so people are like, oh shit, man, that's referring to Tony Stark dying, and I'm like, oh, let's not go down that path.
Oh yeah, there is a possibility. There's also like rumors that Captain America is gonna die,
and Thor, because like all their contracts are ending, so like I no one should be surprised when they're gone, but it's still gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah, the permadeaths are
like
going
when
to
my
hurt.
dad left.
Yeah. So that's two
Like,
and
we all knew
two.
it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
We all knew it was gonna happen, but it still affects me to this day.
See, I was more upset with the death of Loki, uh, fucking
Oh,
Idris
dude.
Alba. I can't remember the character he plays, and Gamora. Even though I don't care much about Gamora. I just when she was thrown up, I'm like, that's not Dusty Death. That's her. How are you gonna come bring her back?
But like, I mean, it's interesting though. Like the part where Gamora dies, and then it's like, what did you lose? Or
Everything.
Like what did you sacrifice? Everything. And then the part where, man, this movie was good. Where he's like, he felt bad because he actually did it, but he still didn't care.
When what's her face, Mantis grabbed his head and she was like, he's mourning, and then Star Lord just ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, but why can't I remember their actual names? Benedict Cumberbatch knew.
Doctor Strange, probably the easiest name.
Tom Holland.
It's the exact opposite. Benedict Cumberbatch. I love the memes of Benedict Cumberbatch. Whenever there's like a weird ass like name, and not even just a species, anything that has like a weird name, you look in the comments, and the first person says, "Isn't that the guy? Isn't that the guy that played Sherlock?"
It's like well, like what would be a good like Bernadette Cucumber?
No, let's see. Talk for a second. I'll look up some good ones.
Okay, but also, yeah, no, the Loki death also, like, damn, I don't know, like, I'm in the stage of denial. I've been for a year. Like, I don't think Loki's actually dead. Like, I really want to believe he isn't. Because, okay, this is a perfect lead up. Because you know why? Thor Ragnarok was such a good fucking movie. And Loki in that movie was just such a good time. And I'm like, I liked Loki so much. And, like, for him to die, I'm just like, that's rough. So I don't think he's dead. I think he's just faking it for
as he's done in literally every movie he's been in.
Yeah, and then like, but in turn, like Thor's character development in the Avengers, so good. Like, oh my god, his interactions with the Guardians, so good. Like, man, he Thor alone cured my depression. He's just like, I've lost my dad, my sister destroyed my home planet, my brother just died. I have it's like one of those, I have every reason to be sad, but I'm gonna make a new weapon and kick like Thanos' ass. Like that's the kind of energy I need in my life. Like that's big dick foot energy when you need it.
Okay, here I pulled up a few Benedict Cumberbatch memes. There's one where John Travolta staring at him from the back, and someone quoted it saying, I'm going to kill you, Brenda Dirk Crapple Scratch." And then there's another one where they have 4 pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch, and it says 4 pictures. I'm sorry, give me a second. This is too much. It says 4 pictures of Bone Dump Crunklepack. Bone Dump Crunklepack, and that will make you say, "That's not Benedong."
We'll never get to hear it.
I'm gonna send it to you. You have to read it. I can't do this. It's too much. Here.
I just imagine that it's gonna, like, the title for this podcast is gonna be the Sadistic Avengers featuring Bone Dumb Crunklepack.
This is too good. Did you read it?
Benedong Cucumber. That's
Benedong Cucumber. That's Benedict Crumple Fork. Oh man, what an ugly name.
That's good. That's a good time though.
But yeah, back to the Avengers. When I watched Doctor Strange, I watched it with the boys at my place, and for some strange reason, I cannot remember the movie. It was such a acid trip of a movie.
I honestly fell asleep during it.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Not the best movie, honestly. But I did like him in Avengers. He was pretty funny. And Thor. He appeared in Thor.
Oh, yeah. Ragnarok.
Yeah, the greatest Marvel movie, arguably.
Good. Oh man, I can hear some naysayers out there being like, actually, but like.
I mean, what else is a contender? Like, I think Spider-Man: Homecoming is pretty good too.
Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy is really good. Like
the first one better than the second one.
Yeah. Like the first, I feel like the second one was way too stationary.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Makes
like
sense, yeah.
you take place in space. You should use it. You should use space and not stay on your dad's fucking nuts.
It really is that fucking nuts. What else is a good? I like Ant-Man a lot. The first one.
I have a great story about Ant-Man. Not the first one, but the second one. So, yeah. I was invited to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp like the day I came back from Japan. But the funny thing about that was I didn't sleep at all. Like I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to leave to go take the train to go to the airport. So like I just didn't sleep. And then on the plane, I can't sleep on planes, so I just sat there miserably, trying to sleep, but can't. And then I get a text from my friend. He's like, "You want to go or not?" And I'm like, "I'll go." Like, sure, why not? Like, I love Marvel. And so we go watch the movie. So I sit down. The chairs are super comfy because it was in Korea. And we didn't even get past, like, the first two trailers, and I was out. Like, I was, like, passing out. I was going comatose, and my friend's like, "Come on, Erica, you can do this." And I'm like, "What?" And then I fell asleep. And then I woke up, and then I don't even know where we were, but I tried to focus, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. So I just went back to sleep, and I basically slept through the whole entire movie. Woke up at the end, saw the end credits, and then I'm like, wow, that was a great movie, guys. But yeah, I spent $16 just to take a nap in a theater.
I mean,
so that was probably one of my favorites.
Because, okay, when I watched Ant-Man, the first one, my friend, he's Kuwaiti, but we were briefly roommates. Not a bad one. In Kuwait, or in the States. And he told me, hey, we should watch Ant-Man together. And I'm a loyal guy. If you say you want to watch something with me, I'll hold off, you know?
Hey, let's watch Endgame together.
Listen, that shit's... The next time I visit is really late, so...
I guess you just gotta wait, buddy.
Are you willing to wait?
You won't know if I watch it.
which goes back to the story, okay? So I come back to Kuwait, and I'm hanging out with other friends, and they said, hey, Shiny, want to go to the theater? I'm like, yeah, sure. But I didn't even ask what movie. So we were hanging out. Oh. And then I said, hey, by the way, which movie are we going to? And they're like, Ant-Man. I'm like, fuck. I already promised a friend that I would go with them. I didn't think you would choose Ant-Man. And they're like, oh, but we already bought the tickets. And I'm like, I guess we'll have to watch it, yeah. So I watched it. And then I come back, and I said I wasn't going to tell my friend a single word. So I come back to the States. And, I'm living through this lie. And then he kept postponing the movie. And then Gigi and Taco asked me if I wanted to go watch Ant-Man. I'm like, I watched it once. Yeah, fuck, sure, okay. So I watched it a second time. And to this day, I have not watched it with my friend. It's
Damn, that's crazy.
I don't know. It was a good movie. I really liked it.
You won't know if I've seen it because I cry regardless.
I mean, I could do the same. I don't cry at all, so I could watch it 2 times.
I can smell it on you, though. That's the thing.
One of us is gonna slip and be like, "Oh, check this out," and then that's when we know.
I can smell when you break promises. It's a talent.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, women are scary.
Yeah, I agree. My house is filled with them.
Wait, what's it? Oh, but you know what? We haven't talked about like Black Panther or Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Have you seen Captain Marvel?
yeah, I watched it in Dubai last or 2 weeks ago.
With your sister, right?
Yeah, I mean, she stepped out of the movie. She said, "My friends are here. I'm gonna go hang out with them instead." I'm like,
Damn.
because she kept like, because we both were sleep deprived,
Uh-huh.
and when she started, because I was falling asleep, and she was slowly falling asleep, but I was like changing my posture, trying to keep myself awake, and then I wake her up and I say, "Hey, go get me some some chocolates. Go get me some chocolates." And then when she went to go get me some, that's when her friends contacted her, and she took her time getting the chocolates. So I was like, "Fuck! I need to remember. I need to remember the things that she missed so I can update her." And when she came back, and I'm trying to refresh my memory, she said, "My friends are here." I'm like, "Oh, thank God! Just go." I can't remember what happened like in detail. And by the time I explained it to her, I already missed because there was in Captain Marvel. There's a huge gap of pretty stale progress. Then it kind of ramps up. So, like, and I like the stale part because you see her like traveling and reacting with what was it like the 80s or something. It was a good time.
No, it was 90s.
90s.
Yeah, because they had pagers
Oh yeah.
and Blockbuster. I remember.
I don't.
I was.
Yeah.
Oh, I was falling asleep, but at the part right as she crashed through the Blockbusters, everyone in the movie theater started laughing really hard, and I was like, okay, I'll start paying attention.
I don't think it was that bad of like it wasn't the best Marvel movie, but I still enjoyed it. There's some.
I
good
liked
scenes.
it.
Yeah.
It had a very strong feminist propaganda statement, and I'm not trying to say like, oh fuck feminists, because like I am one, but it was just like it really was honing in on that like women can be strong too vibes.
You know what? I didn't even feel like there was an like you know when there's an agenda in a movie, it tries like it just feels uncomfortable to watch. I didn't feel it in this one. It was completely fine. It was
Really,
it was a good representation. Like there, it was. I didn't think having a female superhero felt odd. Like it felt natural. Everything felt normal.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like so much of like like the for like female superhero. It was just like that specific scenes like where she's falling.
See, I didn't
And then
even
they
I didn't
show
even
her-
associate that with specifically just women. That's something that even I could resonate with, and that's I think.
Well,
when
yeah,
you-
like
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was the thing. It was
That's
just
probably
more
one of the
like,
best scenes of the movie too.
Yeah. Oh no, dude, I cried. You best believe I cried.
That was really good. I was that got me hyped.
It was good. Like it almost felt like a military commercial though, like endurance and pain. Like
Yeah,
that's what
there's
America stands for.
yeah, there was I could feel it a little bit more military esque, but I think
Yeah.
the reason why a lot of people were like against Captain Marvel wasn't because of the movie itself, it was because of Brie Larson.
Why? She's cool. I love
No,
her.
because she did that interview where she's like, your statement is invalid because you're a white guy, white male, judging movies that have nothing that aren't even catered to you. And I feel like there's a different way of approaching it, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes people deserve.
Yeah, they do. But she generalized a huge audience when she could have just
the
been
people who.
yeah. She could
But
have
I
just
mean,
been yeah. Sorry.
you look at Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
Like, is that really that doesn't cater so much to white people.
It was still a
But-
huge hit though.
Yeah, so.
I mean, it won an
sometimes you
Oscar,
just
didn't
gotta
it?
realize-
Or was it nominated? Did it win, or was it just nominated?
I think it won
Yeah,
Best Picture. Was it Best Picture?
which I think is bad because I didn't think the movie was Best Picture worthy. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was. I think people kept associating it with an all black cast and Hollywood representation. And I'm like, yeah, but yes, but also no. Like it wasn't. Like it was a good movie, great representation. When I watched the movie, and I think I think people kind of ruined the movie as opposed to the movie itself because, like Captain Marvel, when I watched that, I didn't feel like, oh, this is a feminist agenda. I was just saying, everything seemed natural. Same thing with Black Panther.
I think it was. They won best music. I think not.
Oh, then that's fine. If it's
musical score.
Yeah, I heard they had a good. I mean, I can't remember much of the. I don't remember much.
King's Dead. Miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah, again, there was a lot of issue with Black Panther people saying like, oh, this is just catering. I didn't feel that. I thought it was just like, when I watched the movie, it didn't feel like I don't belong here. This isn't a movie made for me. It felt perfectly fine. It was a great movie, and I loved the fact that it was a completely different country, different outlook, different society, because it branches out the MCU, and that's really healthy for a good story. So people just keep adding. This is not a political podcast. You should not be adding politics into every movie you see. Sometimes just enjoy it as a story. Mm-hmm. And it was great. The only issue I had was the final fight looked way too CGI. Like, it's not even like cool CGI. It just felt like a weird video game because they were jumping all over the place, which sucks because Killmonger is a great fucking villain.
But like for Captain Marvel, at least for what was it like? There was some pretty hefty like political statements, and I think this is like, it's just like, it felt like, I mean, just from an American standpoint, like, it made more sense because it talked about genocide as an issue, but not necessarily blaming America for it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't remember the alien race, like, God, I hope this isn't a spoiler. It's your fault for not watching it, but like, when you find out that the real villains here, I don't know why it took me so long to realize it when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess I'm just an idiot. But like, you find out like the people who were seen as the enemy were in fact the victims of genocide, because they're trying to wipe out their population, and like, just like, it seemed like xenophobic and like all that shit. Like, those are obviously very prevalent that are happening in America, and
not just America, worldwide too. But I think,
yeah, and I think,
because what's the name of the group she was with? The police, the intergalactic police force kind of thing, because they felt really culty. They did not feel like a force, an army. They felt like a cult kind of mentality.
Brie Larson's thing.
Captain Marvel was in the beginning, the quote unquote good guys that turned out to be bad guys.
Yeah. Oh no, that's what I was saying. The people that she was with, like, that's the same villains from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
like, I was like, that's why I'm like,
Ronan's followers. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, oh shit, why didn't I notice? I was dumb.
Here's okay. Let's come back to Loki, because I want to talk about him for a sec. But I want to hear your opinion, because you haven't seen everything, but you've seen. I'm just gonna assume you've seen enough. But I've
seen all the Avengers. So
Loki is the only good, fleshed out MCU villain. Yes or no?
Yes, without a doubt.
Could you think of any other villain that is deserving of said spotlight?
Kind of Thanos, but not really.
Well, because here's the thing. A lot of people complain about the MCU is villains are extremely forgettable. Like, I can't even remember Thor's second villain. It's the Dark Elf, but I cannot remember. There's even like a joke where he only had like 3 scenes or 3 lines or something.
I'm trying to think.
Iron Man 2, shitty villain. Iron Man 1, shitty villain. Iron Man 3, shitty villain. Thor Ragnarok had a cool villain. I really liked what's her face? She was really badass. It felt really anime-esque. The whole arc just felt the whole goddamn.
It reminds me of the scene where she's like, "I am the daughter of Odin."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "I don't know who you are." And she's like, "Did you not listen to what I just said?" God, I love that movie.
It's really good. It's a really good movie. It is by far my favorite Marvel movie. Homecoming villain wasn't that good.
Okay, but it was crazy once you like.
Yeah, no, it's a good twist, but the character itself was not like
Daddy,
they're all
no.
unsympathetic. They're all unsympathetic. I don't feel anything for them. Like you don't feel like, oh no, like when Loki was about to die.
But Bucky, I would say.
Bucky, yeah, I guess the Winter Soldier.
Bucky is a villain when you consider all the shit he's done. But I mean, like it's almost
he's
like
brainwashed, but
yeah, I mean, but he still did it.
Yeah, but I mean, is Hawkeye a villain in the first Avengers movie? No.
I don't know. Well, okay, like let's not forget the scene in God, what was it?
When he killed Tony Stark's parents.
No, like in Civil War.
The North versus the South, yeah.
Where it was free the slaves, free the Black Panthers.
Oh man,
where
that's political.
Where Captain America and Bucky were teaming up against Tony Stark and could have possibly killed him. Yeah, that was beautiful, but like when you realize like both of them are beating the shit out of Tony Stark, like can you call them heroes for doing that? You know,
well,
I don't want to get deep with it, like
yeah.
Because at that point, when they started fighting the three of them, you know it wasn't about the government treaty. At that point, it was the personal shit that was going on between the three of them.
Yeah, and that line, he's my friend, so was I. Shit.
Oh man, my heart feels for him.
That's a good scene.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
but it was a very tame movie because they didn't want to kill anyone.
Yeah, I mean, not yet.
I mean, they slightly paralyzed War Machine, but that's pretty much it.
He can walk still.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's getting back in shape. But still, like, that's probably the only casualty, aside from Tony Stark's heart. But, yeah, and that's something about the MCUs. They play it pretty safe. The heroes don't die. Except Infinity War is supposed to be a shock to everyone. And then the villains are just not good. The villains are just... Red Skull is usually... They praise Red Skull, but he was okay, yeah. He's a good villain.
Yeah, he was okay. I mean, I remember him, so...
Yeah.
That's more I can say about the rest.
I mean, they switched out the actor when he came back for Infinity War. And then I'm trying to think, but there isn't. And I
hope.
Yeah.
I hope Jake Gyllenhaal's character in
Mysterio
Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm really excited because that's my boy.
Not to WrestleMania it, but did you notice that Rey Mysterio was dressed as Mysterio?
No.
Yeah, he was dressed as Mysterio from Spider-Man.
I didn't notice that because I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch the Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe?
Yeah, I didn't.
It was like a minute.
I was at work.
Samoa Joe just... Wait, am I spoiling WrestleMania for you?
No, because I watched the last half, and honestly, to me, that was all that mattered.
It's a 7-hour show, and this is wrestling for another podcast. Wrestling is for another podcast. But
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
there's a reason why.
I was ready to pop off, but I mean, there's a lot of juicy shit happening.
I saw Kurt Angle and Finn Balor. That was important to me.
Yeah, I mean, they were okay matches. Those were okay matches. Anyway, hopefully Mysterio. I like Jake Gyllenhaal too. I think he's a great actor too. But we'll see, because this is a huge flaw in the MCU is that they spent 10 years building up Thanos, okay? The big baddie, you know, the ultimate villain. So all villains pale in comparison to him. So all villains died within the movie they were introduced. They were killed by usually just one hero. And then Thanos, he got the whole goddamn world against him, and he still wins. So where do you go from there? Because the MCU isn't going to end after Thanos. It's going to keep going. Are you going to go back to single villain, single hero? What's going to happen with the Avengers? Who's going to top Thanos Is it gonna be fucking Galactus? Is that what his name is?
I am honestly like, what is? I don't know. Beyond Thanos.
Because you need something bigger, or at least something more devious. Because I know that.
Well, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like after this, they're not really going to do that whole thing where they built it up for 10 years to do this. I think that's just going to be random movies, but, I could be wrong.
They plan ahead, which is really... And also, don't forget, they recently had the Fox acquisition. So,
yeah.
The X-Men and the Fantastic Four are now properties of Marvel.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So I mean that's great because that's what I mean. Galactus is an X-Men. He was a Fox acquisition, and now that they have him, he could. I don't know much about Marvel comics. All I know is Galactus is like up there amongst villains that are terrifying. So that could be the next 10-year plan with like many villains scattering throughout the thing. Either way, whatever they fucking shit out, I'll watch because they're not too much. Like, they're not every week, It's like, what, 3 movies a year or something like that? Like, doable. It's doable. And they're a good time. Usually they're a good time.
Yeah. Not related to the Marvel. Well, it is because it's Spider-Man, but the Fox. Was it Fox? The Fox one?
The Fox acquisition?
Not the acquisition. The movie. Or was it Sony? I think it was Sony. The Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it on the plane to Dubai.
Fuck, that movie is so good.
That was a good movie, yeah.
That was just, man. And like the fact that they brought up the third movie and how shitty it was, like that was the best part.
Yeah. It was a really, really good movie. And the animation style is very good. And the music is great.
Ooh, yeah, you want to bet how much did I cry during it?
I don't know, man. You just cry so much in movies.
I didn't.
You didn't cry in Spider-Verse?
No, I didn't.
The fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, who was it? It depends. I think I was watching it with my brother, and I just didn't want to cry in front of him.
Didn't you said you cried when you watched Infinity War with him?
Oh, Worm? I guess I'm not a consistent person.
Oh man, you should not be in
okay, well, like, let's be real. Like, that moment, like that instance, like I didn't give a fuck if my brother saw me crying. Albert's active now. I for Infinity War, but like, but for what's it called? But for like Spider-Verse, I mean, there was like 6 different Peters. I can't be.
They're not Peters. They're Spider-Men.
Okay, exactly. Like there's 6 of them. There was a Peter B. Parker. I just couldn't move. I moved on. Like literally, I just moved on to the B-Man.
It was pretty fun. It's a fun movie. It's really fun. I did feel that the last act was a bit rushed.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You want to fit within the time frame of a movie, and you don't want to prolong a movie more than it should.
Yeah.
But it went from like, I'm Spider-Man, I suck, and then I'm talking about the main one, the main character, and then all of a sudden he's like, I don't suck anymore. It's like it felt like such a like. Okay, I was watching. Do you remember Sky High?
Yes. I remember.
If you guys don't know what Sky High is, like a 2005 Disney straight to Disney Channel movie. I don't think it came out in theaters, and it's about it's a superhero movie where they go to school and the school's in the sky. It's called Sky High. There's not much creativity with the name, but I was watching it with my nephews and niece last night, and like as a kid, you'll enjoy it. I mean, what's not to enjoy? It's superpowers, terrible CGI, and a basic, straightforward plot with some twists and turns. It's fine. But when I'm watching it, like when he gets his powers, because that's a big part of the movie is that he doesn't have his powers. Honestly, also, Sky High is basically Boku no Hero. Like, I was watching it and I was explaining the plot to my nephews before we started the movie, just in case they wanted to watch it or not. And I was explaining it. I was like, "Holy shit, this is Boku no Hero!" But he gets his powers just suddenly out of nowhere. Like, I know it's supposed to be a dramatic scene where he was supposed to protect his friends, but they horribly did it. There was no tension. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was like, I don't. Even my nephews who were watching, they were like, "That's it? That's how he gets his powers?" Like, these are kids. They shouldn't be cynics. But that's how I think poorly made it was, and I think that's the issue that I had with Spider-Verse is the entire movie had really slow but good pacing in the beginning, and then just ramped up. Because the way they would summarize a lot of the story through like comics and quick scenes was great for me. I loved it. But then towards the end, where he's like, "Oh no, I'm a fucking failure. Guess I'm not," and that's literally how he just stops doing. He like paints himself black, and he's like, "I'm ready," you know. There's no. I don't know. It was too sudden of a boost in power. I would have liked a little bit more development to see.
Is this still about the Disney movie?
No, Spider-Verse, man.
Oh, spaced out a little.
No, I let go of Sky High a while ago.
Did you notice that in like when they were explaining the origin story for Noir Spider-Man, the girl Spider-Man, I don't know what she was, and then Spider-Pig was that for
Spider-Ham.
Yeah, Spider-Ham. That he was bit by, like, he was originally a spider bit by a pig. Like, that was such, God, that movie was really funny.
Yeah, it was a good movie because it was cartoony. Like, it was, they had a lot of very cartoony-esque, but not. It was definitely a well-paced in terms of comedy. It was really funny. I laughed on the airplane. Like, it was good. It was good. I really like the characters. Almost every character is lovable, except the villains. Fuck the villains. But I love depressed Peter Parker. That one is good.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah.
Oh man. How I like to rate movies is, did I like it more than Thor Ragnarok?
It is
half
the
time,
measuring stick.
Yeah, and it's like, no, man. I'm like, I'll tell people it was good, but it wasn't like Thor Ragnarok good. And people are like, Thor Ragnarok wasn't even that good, and I'm like, okay, but you're wrong. Like name one other movie with Jeff Goldblum. Like, exactly, you can't. Because he's only in Thor Ragnarok.
Because okay,
I hope.
If you see, because I wholeheartedly believe that Thor is better than any of the Avengers movies, any of the Captain America movies. It's just the best movie, Thor Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the formula of the movie, it has everything you need in a badass, fun story. You have a new villain related to not only the hero, but the previous villain, okay? Mm-hmm. And then she's too OP. So the guy needs to get stronger after he gets thrown out in space or whatever. He joins a tournament. Like, what is this fucking shonen jump bullshit? And then he like befriends the crew there, finds Hulk. Everything just works out brilliantly. And even the ending is like, oh yeah, if we can't save Asgard, fuck Asgard, you know, like, it just destroys the whole goddamn. Everything is just so good. The fight is good. Thor becoming super badass, and also his new look looks really good.
Oh yeah, his haircut. I was about to say, man,
that was pretty fresh.
Prior to Thor Ragnarok, like, my favorite superheroes were Spider-Man and Captain America. But like, after watching Thor Ragnarok, I'm like, God damn, Thor is amazing.
Yeah, easy favorite.
I tried to watch the first Thor movie, but I didn't like it. I was like, man, You don't need to watch this. Just watch Thor Ragnarok.
I like the first one, and unpopular opinion, I like the second one, but mainly because I love Thor, and his relationship with Loki in the second movie is so much better. Because when their mother dies, and then you see just Loki being like broken down, is really, it shows that he's not an actual villain, you know.
Yeah.
Like it makes him very sympathetic, and then the way he switches from face to heel throughout the entire movie is really good too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like, but again, the villains are not memorable. The fight scene is pretty fun because they like teleport from different planets, and then of course Thor Ragnarok is just so good. And every time I cut my hair back when I was in San Diego, I would cut my hair and I would do like the mustache goatee combo. Chris would always say it's Shaheen Ragnarok, and I wouldn't get the joke. Every time he said it, I would not get the joke until I remember that I cut my hair. Like I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? What do you mean Shaheen Ragnarok? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I miss
You had
Chris.
an old white man cutting your hair.
I'm gonna when Chris Hemsworth's contract ends, I'm just gonna audition to be the next Thor.
No, you disappoint me.
You know what Thor means in Arabic?
What?
Bull. So I'll just play a role of a bull. I was originally a spider that got bit by a bull.
Bull man. Hey, like, what happened to Thor? It's like you're looking at him.
It's like it's just a small bull with Thor's wing.
Wait, and you know how like Thor has where? Oh, like, you're gonna have a spoon.
And I hold it in my mouth.
A spoon only you can pick up.
So I can eat cereal. That's all I can do.
Oh man, you can't close the box properly.
Yeah,
Are you
just
ready for
rip
that?
through it with my horn. But Earth's mightiest defenders. That's who we are.
They're just gonna see you and be like, "Nah, I don't want to fuck with that. Never mind."
Like if he made the team, I don't know what he's capable of. I'm scared.
You just have Captain America use you as a shield and then throw you, but you're not made out of the same material his shield was. You were made out of glass, so you just break.
But I'm still alive, just shattered into pieces on the ground.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is the TSA we've been looking for.
Just put the spoon on top of a villain and they can't get up. That's my power.
Oh man. Oh man. Would that movie be better than Thor Ragnarok? I'm not entirely sure.
No, it'll be a subplot movie with Thor Ragnarok, you know? Like in the background. Like before Thor dies, he would train one single bull.
And they're like, what is he doing? It's like someone told him that meant bull. Like his name meant bull. So he wanted his prodigy to be a bull.
I
then,
honestly,
like, you
I
know
would
what?
read an entire Marvel comic if Thor was a bull with a spoon.
And the bull becomes personified because Doctor Strange felt really bad for Thor. So he just made him like, fuck it, like let's give him the ability to talk.
And
so
the first thing he
made-
says, he starts freaking out, like, you can hear me, I can talk.
He starts yelling like, ah.
That would be a good storyline.
That would.
If anyone out there wants to work with us in filming, or not filming, planning out a Thor the Bull comic without getting sued by Marvel, that would be cool. Or anyone, there's nobody in Marvel is gonna listen to this.
You don't know that.
Yeah, but if you guys send it to Marvel, no. But yeah, I think that would be a really fun superhero. Turns out he's the main villain against the Avengers later. This is too much. There's too much happening.
Okay. They're like, he just realized you guys don't really appreciate my abilities.
And he just he just trots up in space. That's how he flies. Instead of throwing, he just runs up to space. But he's out of shape, so he would sweat profusely trying to climb up. He gets tired in space, so he just floats around for a bit.
Oh my god. I'm liking this movie.
Yeah, this is in the
This
same
starts
universe.
A whole new,
This is in the same universe as Jam the Turkey.
this starts a whole new series that takes maybe 15 years to flesh out.
Honestly, I don't mind writing it. Shit, it'd be good. I realize that I'm much better at writing parodies than I am in real stories.
Knowing that it won't be as good as Thor Ragnarok, I want no part in it, but I'll support you.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe someday we'll surpass it once we reach our 16th movie.
16.
Yeah, because there's gonna be more than at least 5 Thor the Bull movies.
Fruit Loops Strike Back.
Thor the Bull in Arabic. If they release it in Kuwait or the Middle East, it's just gonna be called Bull the Bull. Like, it's gonna... But yeah, I think it'll work out. How did we leave the Avengers and create our own superhero? This is great.
You started off by saying Thor in Arabic means bull. And we're like, well, because we know Thor is probably going to leave. He's going to train a prodigy. Basically, long story short, for everyone who was like, what the fuck are these people talking about? That's it.
Yeah. We have the origin story. Oh, man, that would really be cool. But anyways.
No, it won't. Let's be real.
Are you telling me you would not read or watch anything that regards Bull the Bull?
Don't put me on the spot.
Because you're gonna enjoy it. It's the next Spideyverse.
Unless it's Thor Ragnarok good, I might not.
It'll be Bull the Bull Ragnarok.
You're gonna know though that like I'm gonna come out of Endgame and I'll be like, man, that wasn't as good as Thor Ragnarok.
Do you think so?
Like,
you think how do you think the movie is gonna be good? Like, not successful, because we know it's gonna be successful regardless. Do you think it's gonna be a really good movie, or do you think this is gonna be overpacked and dragged out? Because it's a 3-hour movie.
That's my issue. Is like I have a very short attention span, so automatically I think it's gonna drag out. But the ultimate test is if I do not cry, then it was not a good movie.
You have to cry.
Does that make? Yeah, like because like it's Endgame. We know at least 3 of them are gonna leave.
Do you think they might pull some bullshit and make Endgame Part 1? Like, it's gonna be like, this dragged out, but still, there's another 3 hours releasing, fucking December.
Dude, that's no. I don't think they would do that.
I don't think so either. I think that's the worst thing.
If they do, I would start I would start crying, but I wouldn't count that as the movie making me cry. I'd just be like, what the fuck was the point?
Why would you make a 3-hour movie with no ending?
So, like, I think it's long for a reason, and I think it'll be fun.
You think it's a like? Do you think these are guarantees? Do you think that Thanos is gonna die by the end of it? All the Dust People will return, and some heroes, Captain America, Tony Stark, Thor, the Bull, they're gonna die. But I don't. Do you think Gamora and you said Loki? You think he's gonna come back because he always fakes his death? But
yeah, I'm in denial. Like, I'm at that stage of grief.
Well, didn't they say that he's gonna make an appearance in some kind of TV show or something?
Loki or
Loki.
Tom
Hiddleston, but Tom Hiddleston is Loki. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know. I'm just in denial. Like, I just don't want him to be dead.
Do you think Gamora is gonna come back? Do you think that if the stone is taken back to the same place and be like, hello, can I do an undo and get back the soul that I wasted for this?
Okay, I feel like the only way that this could make sense, like everything makes sense to where no one is, like there's no casualty left. I would, fuck. Because I definitely feel like time traveling is going to take a big part of this.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
And so, because I think that was something they did with Captain Marvel. Like, I feel like it. And they're just going to go in the past and make sure this is prevented. And if that means
do you think that's a
series
cop-out,
of events
though?
where, if done right, no.
Because I feel like any time travel to cancel something is just a cop-out.
I mean...
Also, isn't there like a
it's-
multiverse thing?
I don't know. Well, in this universe, fuck. Like, I feel like if it's done successfully and, you know, properly, like, where it makes sense to have, like, let's change these string of events so it doesn't happen, and that means sacrificing the existence of certain people. I think that would make sense.
Do you think they're going to go back to... No. How far would they go back?
Probably
when
before
when
Captain
Thanos was a
America.
baby. Captain Marvel just goes beats the shit out of
Wait,
him
how
as a
old
fetus.
is Thanos?
I don't know.
No, because I'm like saying, like, it will go as far as back as like 1950s, where Steve Rogers was. Before he
Really?
became-
That's way too far. I think that they'd either go...
No, like that's what I'm saying, where it's not so much of a cop out, where it's a string of events that they alter.
And
So,
then you think
I
they're
don't
just
know,
gonna reboot the MCU after that? Like that's when they introduce the X-Men, because now there's a time something happened. There's a butterfly effect, and now there's
Oh,
X-Men
God, what's,
and
yeah,
and
like
Fantastic Four.
what's his face? Professor Xavier.
Yeah,
Professor X, right?
Professor X and Magneto start popping up, and they're like, "What happened?"
Yeah, like you see Professor X walking, and then see Magneto.
Dude, if they reveal
And
them
him
in a post-credit scene in Infinity War,
I would fucking lose my shit.
that would be cool. But I don't know if they're because
I
they
would
just
start
acquired
crying.
they just acquired the rights. So I don't know. Also, isn't X-Men coming up with a movie now? Their last movie, or am I just thinking stupid?
I have no clue.
Isn't there the
I don't
Phoenix movie? Yeah. No, there's one more X-Men movie coming out from Fox.
know. I just know Hugh Jackman's over being.
Yeah, he's played him for years. I hate that he looks better towards the end of his movies than he did in the beginning.
Yeah,
He looked
that's
really
what-
handsome in Origins and Up, and he looked really like because I think they tried to make him look more like because remember comic book movies were very like they tried to copy the design they tried emulating the designs of the comic book characters more, and in real life they just looked like assholes, like not even like good at
Yeah.
they look campy, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, they have 2 movies coming out this year: Dark Phoenix, and then the New Mutants. Is that a movie or a TV show? But I know Dark Phoenix is coming out in June.
Yeah.
So I guess X-Men might not. Oh, they're probably gonna reboot them. It's not gonna be the same X-Men people.
But Professor X.
It's probably not gonna be played by what's his face, Patrick Stewart. I mean, if he does, that's
Oh.
great. I love Patrick Stewart.
Wait, did they? I think it was such a good role for him.
But he died.
They might be like.
Not the actor.
Wait,
I'm
Patrick
sorry.
Stewart-
Not the actor. The character.
Oh fuck! I'd be like, when did Patrick Stewart die?
No. I have no news of
I would've
anything.
got-
No,
I
in
almost
Logan,
started
in the movie
crying.
Logan, he died, and also Wolverine died. What a good movie too. That movie felt really uncomfortable to watch because I've never seen like mutants be so human. Like Wolverine never felt so vulnerable and weak as I've seen him in Logan.
I've never seen Logan. I remember it came out when, because I remember all my friends. I saw Logan, and I'm like, oh, was it good? And they're like, yes, it was good. They were also my student. That's why they.
Yeah, it was a good. I watched that on the plane. I remember.
I just like I'm like my biggest weakness with like or like my fault with these movies is that they're really long and I have a very short attention span. That's what really kills me. So that's why I prefer watching Marvel movies in theater because I have no choice but to sit there and watch it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why airplanes also work, because you can't really do much.
Yeah, that's why I was able to watch 3 Marvel. You know, I
What?
wanted to cry on this.
Okay, so I know this is still about Marvel, but let's chime in a little bit. How are we doing on time, though?
I don't know.
Great answer.
My recording recording thing is stuck at 2:51, but considering the fact that we started exactly at 4 a.m., it's been an hour and 17 minutes.
Oh, then we're good in closing it out soon.
Yeah, like we can.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Okay, last comments. Let's discuss the weaker half of comic book movies, the DC universe.
Oh, dude, I don't even bother. Yikes.
Because their movies have been subpar, with the exception of. And here's the sad part: is because I have not seen the exceptions. I haven't been avoiding them. It's just I didn't get the opportunity to watch them in theaters, and they were not on the plane when I traveled, so I didn't watch them. And they're not on any of the Netflix, whatever bullshit we have here. But the only exceptions that I heard were good was Wonder Woman, and
Yes, that was good.
which, by the way, like I don't know why they made such a big deal about Captain Marvel saying like, "Oh, it's a superhero, a female superhero. We don't know if it'll work." You just had Wonder Woman, and it did work. Like, there's a proof of concept. You know, you don't need to be insecure about the results. It's a good. It works. It works. But I can't chime in personally because I don't watch it. But Wonder Woman,
I've seen it.
is it good?
It's good. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
Don't spoil it. I'll watch it eventually. And then,
It's good. That's all you gotta know.
I mean, I heard that's something, and I heard that Aquaman was pretty good,
Yeah, same.
and Shazam.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but like here's where DC really excels in its TV shows, and I don't mean like Flash or Green Arrow. The
Dude.
cartoons, they're so good. Gosh, what is it's not Teen Titans, but Teen Titans is good.
Team
It's,
Justice or
Young
something?
Justice.
Young Justice.
Young Justice. That is phenomenal. Like that is such good writing.
I
And,
heard
they
it's
just
really
did a
good. I'm willing to watch it if it's on Netflix. I'll give it a look-sees.
Oh man, I pray that it is because it's so good. Like I enjoyed that series, and I prayed for 2 years that we would get a season 3, and now we have it.
My brother-in-law
Like, it's good.
says it's really good too, and he's a huge DC fan.
Yeah, and like I'm not too big on the DC universe, but like Young Justice, man, that's a good show. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, but do you think that the DC universe is coming back? Because they've been making some bangers. Apparently, I haven't seen them, but Wonder Woman,
No, I don't.
Shazam, and Aquaman are all well praised movies, whereas Suicide Squad, Batman, and
Oh.
Superman were bad.
And also, they're making a new Joker movie.
Yeah, with Joaquin Phoenix. The trailer looks really fucking weird. I'm down for it.
It looks interesting.
Yeah, it's a
I
weird
don't know if, like,
weird
that's-
take on Joker, but I don't mind watching it.
I don't think it fares well as the Marvel universe, to be honest.
Yeah, but you think they
I just
eventually could they get that big, or do you think they have too many hits and misses that there's an inconsistent
Yeah.
formula?
Well, like just think about like what's 3 movies, like 3 successful movies versus like 10.
Yeah, and also here's the thing is when you think DC, who do you think the top biggest stars are? The big two.
I don't know his name, but like the dude from Game of Thrones.
I said DC. What the, oh. No.
Aquaman.
Yeah, no, not actors. I meant like
Superheroes.
yeah, the superheroes.
Oh, Batman and Superman.
Simple, right? And then let's
Yeah.
look at the movies that they came out with. Man of Steel did get some praise, but a lot of people hated it. I watched it in theaters. Here's the thing. I'm petty, yo. I'm hella petty because a lot of people compare Goku to Superman, and I'm like, there's no comparison with those two. Okay, you should not be comparing. A lot of them are like, oh no, they're basically the same thing. And I'm like, they're not. They really are not. One of their personalities are opposites. Goku's like, yeah, keep this bad guy alive because I want to fight him again, and Superman's like, am I a god or human? And like it's very different mentalities. But when I watched Man of Steel, it was bland. It was okay. Like, I did not feel anything in the movie.
Again, like, the thing with DC is, like, literally all their cartoon movies, all their cartoon shows are far better than that has been put out on the big screen. Like, that's just my opinion.
Do you think it's because on the big screen they try to be this, like, dark, edgier version than they are in the cartoons?
I think they're trying to, like, replicate Christopher Nolan's success with The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And that was hella broody. That was hella dark.
Because Zack Snyder did did he do the Man of Steel?
I don't know. I know he did Batman versus Superman, right?
Yeah, I think so. I know he was involved, but he has a certain art style where he, kind of sucks the color out of the screen and he makes it like all broody and dark. And it makes no sense because, Superman's supposed to be colorful. But then again, I understand where they're going with. They want a darker Superman story where they look at the burden I carry. But it just didn't work out. And then Batman and Superman, I watched that on the airplane. And that movie was not good. Some crucial points in the movie were just disgusting. They're like, Batman was like seconds away from. First of all, Batman almost killing Superman is ridiculous. But then he was about to beat him up, and then he says Martha, and that's it. That's all it changed. He just yells Martha.
And he's like, "Why did you say that name?"
It's like my mother's name is Martha. He's like, my mom too. What are you, fucking 3-year-old? Like,
wait, Zack Snyder made Aquaman.
Well, I mean, I guess he fixed it later whenever he was fucking up.
I think he probably heard the criticism.
Yeah,
he also made Watchmen.
He did what?
Did you say Watchmen?
Oh fuck! I hate Watchmen. I know a lot of people love it, and they think, but I'm not a comics fan to begin with. I watched Watchmen, and it put me to sleep. It's a long ass movie, very slow. I'm not invested in any of the characters. And people, if you love Watchmen, all the power to you. I'm just telling you, it made me fall asleep.
That movie was 3 hours and 35 minutes long.
It didn't need to be that long, okay? It didn't need any of that bullshit. And also, they had weird sexual scenes with Dr. Manhattan. It looked disgusting. You could have cut that from the movie. I didn't need nightmares of big blue penis. Light mistakes that they made in these movies. But I want to watch Shazam because I love Zachary Levi.
I don't know if I should watch.
I heard it's good. I heard the only bad thing about it was the villain's kind of bland, but 90% of superhero movies have shitty villains, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, because, like, Shazam and, like, the cartoons, like, I didn't really like his character. He was kind of annoying.
Probably annoying in the movie, too, but Zachary Levi. I'm willing to give him anything. I love Zachary
Levi.
Levi.
Is it Thor Ragnarok?
Probably not. Probably not. But still.
That's just what I have to base it on.
The measuring stick. Okay, let's not drag this out too long.
Yeah.
By the way, people probably, we'll release this on Thursday, but people will probably listen to it the next day. So some of them already watched. One of our 2 viewers definitely watched Endgame already, so don't spoil it for us. I don't know how this works, but don't.
Please.
Yeah,
please don't text us and be like, "Boy, were you wrong?"
I
don't want to know if I was right or wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except about the X-Men thing.
Yeah,
No, I'm joking. Just don't say anything. Anyway, thank you for listening, and if you made it all the way to the end, I'm not gonna give them another high-pitched voice. I think they deserved it last week. I don't know what to give them this week.
I forgot about it.
The high-pitched voice of last week.
Yeah.
There we go.
Alright,
you get a discounted one. Okay, see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have a healthy topic next week.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you. And good night, Erica, or good morning.
Good morning. I have to wake up in 2 hours. Woo!
Okay. See you guys.